MarC for MLK,
Mm,
Power of the Common People podcast show.
welcome back. Welcome, everybody. What's up? Missed y'all so much. But we back at it.
Yes, we are. We're back at it.
I have a lot to talk about. I want to break your brain into. I want to make you think about some things and really look at it from a realistic standpoint. Step back. Come into this room. We got Rose Room in the room. Come on, Rose Room. Tell us about what's going on with you.
This is MLR Rose from the Rose Room discussion. And yes,
Ooh.
I am here.
Mm.
All right. We're going to go into some of the topics.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And what we're going to talk about is pretty much, I guess, from what you wanted to speak about, is what's next to come in 2025.
Mm. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We got a lot going on. We are now going to be going into another new year. It's right around the corner. We'll be having a new president stepping into office. We'll be facing a whole another chance to get it right. I'm very proud to be here. I'm very happy to hear from you guys. I hope everybody's doing very well. I send blessings to you, shalom and peace. Let's get started on this. I noticed that a lot of truth has been coming out. We're looking at things that it's kind of, again, like I did my episode on probably the first and the second show. I talked about the Wizard of Oz. I talked about focusing on who's behind the curtain when they found out the Wizard of Oz was not the man who they thought he was going to do all these wonderful things and supply a heart and a brain and things that we already spiritually were born in DNA. It is your natural self. You are at the best of your life. We are shutting down a road again, a new one. We're opening up some new doors. Like I said, there is a lot of reality coming out. We're dealing with people who you never knew that they were doing some snaky stuff. You never knew the evil in them. And they are now showing up at the top of the stage, on stage, and pretty much looking at who they really are. Years and years, people have given people so much more than they have given God. They have put people on pedestals, to the steps, to the highest of the level, and even let them sit on their back with wet clothes on. You know what I mean? It's reality right now. They're coming out from people who are doctors doing some demonic stuff, child molesters, just jumping up from different careers, police officers being, pointed at to the real policing that they're doing and how they get down with the brutality that they jumping in, and they just showing up. They are all coming out and getting on stage because this is the lightning time. We are getting old garbage out, and we're bringing in the new reality of God, because this is a time to know who you with. The decision has been made only on you. You can jump on one side, trying to be the best you can be as a good person, do the big moral thing, have a moral conduct, know how to isolate yourself away from things that will cause you hardship, and you know what to do when your life is kind of like off a little balance. You put it back on balance. You know how to move. You know how to stay in your lane. You're not worried about negative stuff. You're not bringing issues and creating issues. You doing what God wants you to do. Baby, you out there doing what you need to do. You have that heart that you do care about people. So I roll like that. And I know and I can feel the universe of people that I'm on this earth with. There is more good than it is bad. It reminds me of an apple tree. You might have about maybe 6 rotten apples on the tree, and once they're gone, then things look so good for that apple tree. You know, I'm a believer and firm believer that this is the time when there's a shift, and this shift is showing reality. Like, none of the people that have done wrong is not in this. We're talking about the most shady, heartless, evil people who have done so much damage. They are like their personality, what they do, they keep things going on, and they are very negative, like demonic negative. And they're like a spider web, and it manifests. They're not good people. They're dirt hand people. And when I say dirt hand, I mean they actually will rape a baby. This is the type of people we're dealing with now. We're dealing with people who have no moral love for nobody. They're very selfish. They don't have any feelings as far as trying to bring peace. That's not their energy. This is why they're coming to the forefront right now, because they have done a lot of dirt. They've caused a lot of harm to other people. They have transgression against other people. They have done things to step on people who are not involved in anything. But because of their hatred and their jealousy, their energy moves like that. They don't have a heart. So it is meant for them to be put on the stage, because they're out here making lives really hard for the beautiful apple like yourself to shine. So, yeah, is there times? We're going into 2025. Very strong family unit. People are going to be more into creating the truth. They're not, you can't lie to them anymore. You can't pretend. And it's where we at. Your lies and manipulation has ended. If I were you, I would get on my knees and ask the Lord to forgive me. I would repent. That's me, if I was in your shoes. The battle is no longer, because you already see who they are. Would you watch and see how they come out as we move to the end of 2025? You can feel people's energy. And if I were you, if you ever felt negative energy around anybody, put on your armor. Always stand strong. Don't never let anybody put you in no fear at all. One thing you should be fearing is the Lord. If they're not, everybody's human. I don't care if they're bigger, stronger, got a bigger car, big eyes, big nose, small life, big life. Running this, got educational degrees, intellectually intelligent, got all the money. We're all humans. We all bleed. And none of us is perfect. So everybody's on the same plane at this present moment. And some of us just left this earth and will never be seen. And that's the end of that life. So every day you get a chance to push yourself to be the best you can be. Whatever you think you are, and you know you are that person. If you're thinking negative about yourself, explaining to yourself, and abusing your mind with certain details about you don't look good, you're not smart enough, that's not where you should be at. You are all that. Who do you think that you made it last week? You did that. You are in your strength right now. So anybody the people who I spoke of, who are negative and who have intervade your lifestyle and just sort of been stressing you or oppressing you, they are no longer able to do that because the negative is gone. So you got to know that you are that person. Look where you at. Look at you. Every time you look at yourself, you should be so blessing yourself with what the Lord gave you. So any negative vibe will be from you telling yourself. Never tell yourself anything that's negative. Never. Even if it is negative, be proud of who you are. Be happy that you are who you are. You don't need to explain to anybody who you are. You're not going on an interview. We're all on the same ground. And right now, you can either be on the get it right ground, I'm gonna do the best I can ground, or you can be on the shady, don't give a negative and doomed for hell. Maybe I'm saying too much. Maybe some people don't believe in hell. But there's a certain kind of person. When you're evil, or you have an evil endurance, and your whole motivation is to keep that going. Now you're going to be the head of nothing. You've got to be underneath that like a tail. Because the things you have done. And you powerful being, you're about to be the head. Everything that has been in your life that has been stopping you, trying to oppress you, has ended. You're about to be the one. You and several. Everything that you asked for, have been waiting for, is coming your way. You are blessed. You got to know that you're blessed. Look at your life. Look at what you've been through. Look at the beauty. And this is why I feel that education, again, I'm going to push this because I do feel very important about it. It is the ability to grow. It pulls up your income. It pulls up your mind. It intellectually makes you powerfully a thinker. And it makes you know the facts. So when you start to find out about history and about the biological part of this earth, how it all makes sense, and you start to find out the research, and then you see all these amazing researches, and then what you're really looking at is life itself. We are part of this world. We're connected. And there is so much strength in the color of colored people. People that's connected. The melanin is very strong. Extremely. The darker it is, the more stronger it is. Now, some of us say, oh, I'm not African American. Do you know who you really are? Really? And then some would say, I'm Indian. Do you understand what that means? Saying the word Indian is like a black person hearing another race call the word in. It's Native American. That's the proper way. We have to look out for our children right now. Like, the education is not what we thought it was. When I say we have to look out for our children, we really need to know what they're really reading, what are they really engaging in, and who's surrounding their life. What are they seeing? If a child cannot go and play baseball at a park, or go swim, swimming at a swimming pool, or go roller skating someplace where they can have a roller skate derby, little stuff, bicycling, but they're afraid to come out because they're afraid that that person across next block or so don't get along with some of their people. And so they tend to stay indoors. And then when they do come out, all the information that they got from looking at YouTube, TikTok, any other media sites, or anything that's popular, that's what they're learning and seeing. And their educated mind is filling all that information in. We want our girls to be able to mend together. We want our boys to mend together. And these children right now are not having that opportunity. We are sharp people. What can we do to get this going along with reparations? No, I haven't given that up. I haven't. This is the time. I'm going to look you in my eyes when I see you, and I'm going to look into your eyes. When I see you, I know that you are ready to fight. And I'm going to approach you with the love of my life, getting the reparations. I need as many of you who believe in your heart and know for a fact it is that time. We have come too far. We are stronger than we ever have been. We got more conversation. We got more information. And we definitely got dedication. It's in the heart. I got my sister in D.C. fighting, sister in Atlanta fighting, my sister down in L.A. fighting. Maybe we going in Chicago. we spreading in Atlanta. We don't even get my sister down in Oakland and Sacramento. Y'all, thank y'all. I really appreciate all the support. And don't forget San Diego. I almost forgot you, my sister. So we believe in it. We put our foot down in it. We know for a fact that our ancestors, they really suffered this. This pain that went on is deeper than our hearts. When you hear the stories that are factual stories from true slave people who would tell their story, how they lived, how they were separated. A young bitch and being a young boy, age 7 years old, and your mama and stuff, y'all ain't really got anything because you're slaves. You're chattel slaves. Chattel slaves mean you're a slave for life. Your mother had you, and once she had you, you being a child, you are branded as a slave for life until you're age 25. And then, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. You and your brother one day are snatched up, put on a truck. Y'all heading out somewhere to another state. Y'all not coming back. You'll never see your mother or your father, or even though your sisters or your brother or your uncles, because by you being a male child, 7 years old, do you know how good of a slave you'll be? And you know what we're going to send you? So your mom and them is in Virginia. Okay, so they're picking rice. They're picking cotton. They picking corn. They taking care of domestic animals. And they also get their butt whipped. Oh, butt naked. Let me explain that part. I think that's you get like about maybe 30 if you're lucky on your back. And then wait, hold up now. You're 7. Now you go into this location where it's a plantation. And you are going to stay there from your age 7 till you get like about 70 something. And all that time, you had a wife, kids, and you done seen your children get snatched away. Your grandkids. In fact, one of your daughters had sex with one of the slave owners and got kids by him. Oh, I didn't mention that. So now, your daughter has mulatto kids. Oh, don't worry. They won't stay with her. They will grow up in the house. They would grow up in the master's house. Oh, let me explain to you what the master's going to do. Oh, he's going to rape your daughter. Uh-huh. When she gets about maybe 12, looks very beautiful. Yeah, she's going to have sex with them. Yeah, he's a slave owner. He owns her. He'll do whatever he wants. She's just property. Pretty much it. So, you guys are telling me and visualize it. And I can feel y'all. You're wondering, like, this really happened? Yes, it did. several times. Well, we need some names. Check out Harriet Jacob's story. Wow. Mm. She didn't even know she was a slave. At the age of 6, her father was a carpenter. This was back in the 1700s. She lived on a nice, good piece of land, Her daddy was making that money, took care of the whole family. Wait, hold up. Her brother and her and the mother were slaves. The father was free. He was a free man. Being a free man back in them days, it was like, you a man, but you're still a boy. And not only is you still a boy, you can be charged back into slavery. Because some of the men, they paid, they paid for their freedom. And they were able to buy themselves their freedom. But a mother and her children is mandatory a slave for life. Again, the children maybe depends on the slave master. If he want to follow the law, really don't have to. Slavery went on all the way up until 1990s. Think about that. And the thing about it was a family. They did not even know they were free. Wasn't even aware of it. Didn't know anything about freedom. And was still loyal to this family to this day. They call it living out. Look that up. That's when a slave, but not a slave, he's a free man, can stay in a white plantation. And what he would do is he would go out to work in the fields or gain money or carpentry. He had a skill, but he would take his money after he made some change and pay. This is where the landlord thing came in at. He would pay the white plantation owner money to live there. And so he was pretty much running the place, but he could come and went. But guess what his coming and went was? He could only go to work as a slave in the field, or as a carpenter, or as a blacksmith, or as a tailor. Well, the bell is about to ring. I'm going to go to a break. Remember, you are here for power for the common people. MarC4MLK.
right, all right, all right. This is Power of the Common People podcast show hosted by Marcy for MLK, and I'm guest host MLR Rose for the Rose Room discussion. I'm gonna kind of give my opinion on a little stuff that we were um, just talking about. Um, the ownership of slavery and how most of our ancestors came from that past, and how we're now looking at what's to come for the future, and knowing that the information that Marcy for MLK just stated about how there were still slaves in 1990, which you can look up some of the information of the chocolate slaves that were in Africa, which they were enslaving people still. It's still going on to this day. This is a very strong subject, and that a lot of people should be aware of this. This is something that your children should be made aware of. Um, it's a tragic event. It's something that affects humankind, mankind. It affects us as human beings, period. Um, with that said, um, that conversation was about the past. Now we're moving towards
This is the
some
future.
some of the past is
This is our
still
future.
is
Can't
still
wait.
here with the future. We're trying to avoid that. What she was stating about the young children um, themselves being scared to go outside,
Exactly.
how these things affect our psyche, our psychological perspective of life, our view of our circumference of where we live and what we can do, and how far our existence
Exactly.
is able to allow us to push ourselves
Keep
to.
thinking, people.
Because some people are limited due to their environments and the things that are happening around them. So, with that said, we have to do better. If you know better, you should do better, which is a saying that is very popular now. Um, I like that one better than the other
Yes, I do
ones
too.
that they gave, you know,
Much, much, much
because,
more
you know, the
positive.
one that was pretty much for the thus far in the 2000s, or 2000 since 2020, I think 2020, 2014 was It Is What It Is. I didn't really
Yeah,
like that
I
one
didn't like that one.
because it's just basically saying that you are coming to terms with whatever it is, you're just going to accept it.
Or whatever. That's another
Yes.
word. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that much more, if you know better, do better, is much more of a better slogan for us.
And don't be afraid to feel that you
Slogan.
can't
Sorry
do it.
about that. I said slogan. I apologize.
Don't feel
Slogan.
like you can't do it. You can recognize
Almost
these
got a
things.
tongue
Yeah.
tied again. I apologize. Yeah. Um, with that said, the future, we're moving towards other situations right now, and we're knowing that it's going to be a change of guard coming, a new president, a whole new outlook.
Exactly.
Um, a lot of people are going to be removed from positions, a lot of
Exactly.
positions that people had that were supposed to be doing things to and better,
Exactly. I pulled the country up. Or do, had a job that
I do the
had a
community
responsibility,
much
but they're being
more
accountable for some
much
of the negative things they've
much more
done.
of a
Yeah.
service. They did not do so. They just
Exactly.
kind of just were lacking. So most people are hoping that it will be a change now, something better. It won't be the
Rotten apples.
the type of I guess mindset that was left in what we would say we're at the end of 2024. So hopefully this mindset is gone, because in this year we've seen a lot of events that were very
Yeah, out in the front. So,
just outlandish.
so I spoke on different subjects. And why I did that was I put them all in a cake. And this was very important.
Okay, that is true. You spoke on very different subjects,
Exactly.
and I wanted to try to give a little detailed information on how to link those subjects into a, you know,
Open the,
a a
open it
a,
up.
a in
A
a
platter.
no into
I said a platter.
a much more perspective to where a person can see that how they all fit,
In a puzzle that makes sense, that links to,
that links together.
yes, that very much.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I was trying to do because I know that in these topics that we come up with, sometimes they're freestyle and sometimes they're kind of planned. But
Yeah.
this one was much more of just a discussion and conversation. And we're knowing that now we see that with the recent events of that happened this year, we can go down um, to, I
Many
could say,
events.
one of the most tragic ones that I've seen. And that was probably in the beginning of the year.
Tell us about that.
And that was when we seen the children on the television suffering due to the mass, I think it was a earthquake that happened this year. That was one
Remember?
event
Remember that
across
event?
overseas. That kind of was really harsh to see. And
Very
then
touching.
we had another one that happened after
It was
that.
real touching.
That was, I guess, the volcano that erupted. Then after that, we had another one after that. That was, I think it was the war that was going on. There was still conflict.
Very extreme.
Um,
That
and
affected,
and then from there,
that had a lot of
I
effect
think
on them.
we had a bunch of mass shootings
Very extreme more.
in
More
America.
effect.
So all these events going down the list was just there was just a lot of stuff going on that just didn't need to happen. And I guess moving forward, hopefully with this new president elect, everything would change. And if they move some people around in these positions, maybe we'll start to see some new perspectives come in, some new decision making.
Yes, because we've been dealing with nothing really moving. Um, we know bills have been moving. We know Congress has been doing their thing.
Yeah,
Um, but what we have not seen is a major turnover.
turnover, especially when it comes to the medical, um, financial strain that has been going on for a while, ever since I think it's 2021. Well, big pharmacy had upped the amount for people paying co-pays, so that was
Yeah,
causing problems with a lot of people's pocketbook. Then they had the food, yes, basically went up, so people were paying more,
and gas.
and gas was also another
Mm.
hit. That was another hit, and then rent, rent. I hopefully want to see and better, I guess, strategy or plan put together.
And don't forget the Homeless Act.
The
If you,
homeless,
yes, in
wow,
San Francisco and Los Angeles.
it's
Well,
still
yeah,
that's still something that's really has not been resolved, and that's been
yes,
wow. I think California got, I think it was billions of
yes,
dollars,
they sure did.
and they still were
Extremely
not
amount
able to
that could have.
resolve that at all. And
Yes,
I think
unbelievable.
some cities, the governor stated that he was not going to give the money to them
And
to,
they don't know where the money went.
and
They
he's
can't account for it,
and
like the accountant department.
yes, some cities are
Yeah,
getting audited because they
unbelievable.
did spending without giving any type of receipts on
They
what they spent on.
don't remember what they spent $1 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion, or even $1 on.
So, yeah,
Okay.
we really hope to see a lot of significant um, power moves coming up soon.
Yes, we're looking at, as I said in this conversation, We're looking at the truth. We're finding out what's going on behind the door, and it's opening up this full stage. Like people are butt naked. They've been seen for who they are. They've been seen how they position themselves. They can no longer pretend to look as if they're helping and making a positive move when what they really was doing was stealing money, doing foul things, um, having sex with, you
Yeah,
know,
the hu-
people, the little people.
the human trafficking was also a
And that's
very
another
big
problem.
a
That
big
was
event.
extremely bad.
That was very a big event for 2024. We've seen a lot of celebrities go down under these human trafficking laws and expose a lot of
Yes,
information about how they were using children to gain extra income on the side and were
extremely.
prostituting and also human trafficking and using child pornography and all kinds of different, I would say,
Wow.
inappropriate
Extremely
mannerisms of
overwhelming for a child.
of conduct. And another thing is too also a lot of these people are also linked to the dark web
Exactly. So,
because, like I stated, that for
how
some
is that
reason
possible?
I don't understand how the government is not able to shut it down.
And it's dangerous.
It's very
That goes on.
strange because due to
Unbelievable, but
the
it's reality.
the circumstance information that was given recently with the person's case and how he was selling, I guess, videos and imagery on the dark web to get tons of money of other celebrities having engagements with underage children. That really
These are
shocked me.
adults too.
And these are celebrities. So
Adults, men, females.
this is very strange how these things were taking place. And like she said, a lot of the wools are getting lifted from over people's eyes. They're able to see now. So when the old saying, when a
And
person
look at the numbers. Count the
covers
numbers of
covers your
incidents.
eyes with wool, and they cover your eyes from you not being able to see, and they tie that around your eyes, and you're walking blindly, and you're being led by someone
Mm-hmm.
from their
And
voice. I think
yeah,
that's what a lot of this is kind of
it's showing up for what it
putting
really
a
is behind the
putting
curtains.
a picture to the identity of what it looks like to be misled
And the person too.
and
Yeah,
being
and their
misled
position.
being
Don't
mis
forget their positions.
being misled by these people and then placing this over your eyes where you're not being able to see and you thinking that these individuals just because they have tons of money.
Or they have intellectual jobs.
And as we can see with the last event
Unbelievable.
with
Teachers,
the gentleman that shot the
doctors.
head of this company, this very large medical company being shot, it just lets you see that there's nobody safe. I think one of the comedians even said, he said anybody is it's up for anybody now.
Yeah,
There's no holds bars here. So there's just basically if you're doing something that is against the law, um, the truth is going to be revealed about you. And when it's going to be revealed about you, it's going to be brought out so much to where it's just going to be overwhelming evidence. And now we see that this
and there's the stage.
one more person is getting caught, and we're seeing that this is coming to light. So I don't know how this is going to play out. It just looks very bleak,
Yeah,
and I'm seeing that. I'm in one way, I feel kind of like what's to come from the past is now heading towards the future, and
there's the stage again.
you can't really have a future without knowing your past. So that's the whole point. These people past is catching up to them in the future to let people know about them and what they
Exactly.
did in the past, so that way they can't move forward in the future. So
As we say, the apple is either can do two different things. It can be used for something else and made better, or it can just disintegrate into its own death and be
exactly,
rotten to the core.
right to the core, and When you're dealing with things like that, what you want to do is clip them off the tree and make sure they don't infect the others.
Exactly.
Or if you have a rotten apple, you can use it for apple vinegar or whatever the hell you're going to use it
Use it
for.
for something good.
Something else you can make it into.
Exactly. Like you, the
Mush,
lemonade thing.
or you can throw it to animals and have them eat it. But other than that, like I said, this is what's happening now. We're starting to see that there's just a lot of truth being exposed, and now people are very worried about how they're moving because if you shot somebody, raped somebody, kidnapped some children, if you're involved with
Yeah.
drugs,
Or
if
just
you
some
have
racist. Don't forget that. The
if
beautiful thing about being a racist person,
racial,
something else about that.
raunchy type
Ooh, y'all do so much.
conversations or details, which you can see also too recently with the police department that was here in the Bay Area. I think it was 3 different police departments
Yeah.
where they were able to get their emails and their text messages. And another thing I wanted to let people know about out there, if you're dealing with certain internet providers, and also on top of that, I
Listen to
think
this.
phone service providers, be careful what you're texting, be careful what you're placing on your emails,
Listen to this.
because now they're pushing a law to where if you have any raunchy, rude, undesirable, any information that is based upon something that they feel is
Racist,
causing a problem or issue, or if it's
governmental things.
governmental, they can now place investigations on you. They can shut down your account. They can do all these things.
They have to.
So they're moving very rapidly, and like you can see with these celebrities, a lot of these people are being hit without them even understanding what's happening.
Exactly.
And by the time the feds get you, they
They have
have
a big case before that.
gathered tons of
And
information on
even
you.
your own friends probably want to tell them exactly where you use the
Exactly.
bathroom at.
So
And what side of the bed you sleep on.
if you're sitting around, you know, doing stuff to people, and you think that these people don't see what you're texting,
PPP loans.
what you're sending on your emails, and these PPP loans, these federal grant loans,
All the little games.
these other little games with this unemployment insurance,
Stealing people's identity.
identity theft, it's going to come down crashing upon you.
It's your time.
And when it does, you're not going to be prepared to get out of these cases.
That's why you get on your knees and pray right now.
These people have
Absolutely.
a, what do you call that? A 97% rate of getting their
Get redeemed.
actual target. So that means that they don't really miss. When they come after you, they come after you with 100% proof evidence.
Because you are the target. You remember like the target? And they're going to hit the bow right in the middle.
Exactly. So
They
yeah,
don't miss.
we're looking at a lot of stuff that's coming from the
Forward.
past and catching people before they can get to their future. So in this future, we're really trying to focus on embetterment, like
Yes.
Mrs. MLK for
Power to the common people.
the Common People podcast,
For M.
Marcy for MLK. She basically stated
Thank you,
the
Rosemary.
children are something that we need to focus on.
Look at that.
putting
Look at
them-
it.
Putting them in a better position so that way they can ex- excel to the highest levels. And
Excel to the highest level.
our
To the best of their
jobs, our
God-given
jobs,
talent.
our jobs are to teach them and give them detailed steps on how to do so without compromising them with inappropriate mannerism,
Exactly.
inappropriate idealism,
Exactly.
and false
Ideology.
narratives. Because, like I said, we just seen what just happened right now with all these different groups that are being caught. And like I was telling her, a lot of these so-called people that you thought were really hardcore, and tough,
Nope.
you're
they're not
seeing
like
that they're coming out to be in the closet. They were in the closet. They were having sex with men, boys, children. They
And
were doing,
dominating the whole
Yeah.
life of a human being.
and they were bringing a lot of false narratives and misleading people. So we don't want to have that in the future. So our now main purpose is to stand up against all these unrighteousness
Exactly.
events and groups
dirty
and
people.
con artists manipulative mindsets.
Exactly.
Because we have a lot of people
Selfish,
that
demonic
are what we
mindsets.
call
It's
hypocrites.
about me.
They're hypocrites. They're posing to be one thing,
Exactly.
but they're
Power to the people,
living a
the
life
common people.
in another way, in another manner.
And they present themselves on Facebook as if they're about the people or they're about something. But if you really look at the real truth, they're not really doing anything. They're not, okay, they're not doing, or if you say, hey, let's go fight this fight, they'll be the ones that run. Because for one, they're not about that fight. They don't even have it in them.
But like,
But they're using the platforms to get money, begging for money. Any
yes,
human being that you realize that you only have enough money for yourself. And if you give a person who got money themselves and they're getting money out of your pocket and thinking that they making a come up, you can see that character of that person.
right. So we're looking at a lot of con
Especially,
artists
especially if they're doing it to an older person,
that are being
our
revealed.
mother with kids.
Just like I was stating a few moments ago about those cons, we're looking at the ones that are doing the phone scamming, calling elderly people. We're looking at the ones that are claiming to be Social Security. We're looking at the ones that are claiming to be
The lowest ones.
AARP, the ones that are claiming to be banks, any type of things of this nature. We're starting
So,
to see a
can you
lot
give
of
us an understanding what happened today at the knock knock doors thing? Tell us who came by.
oh yeah, just there's a lot of door scams. Be very wary about people coming to your door claiming to
Pigeoning.
be companies
Mm-hmm.
that don't have any type of business cards. Um,
Don't
remember,
open your door,
in this
period.
day and age,
Don't do it.
we all have cameras on our doors.
Please get a camera.
We can communicate very easily through the door.
Doorbell camera, please. It's
Get you a
very
doorbell
important.
camera. If not,
And one in your house.
you have the good old fashioned peephole. They even
Do it,
have
please.
they have
Don't
cameras
open the doors.
cameras that are actually placed in the peephole section that allow you to do the same thing.
For your safety.
So
If you ain't got that weapon,
be very precautious on not opening the doors, and remember
Don't do
to
it.
lock your doors at night because where we live at for the last, I would say, probably few months as time
Night
is starting
stalkers.
to wind up for the holidays. There's a lot of people coming around here looking to prowl, to steal, and they're trying to find targets.
packages, they love them.
And another thing that they're doing that I want to give people a heads up on is that they have these scanners that are they look like iPads or pads. What they're doing is they're trying to read your door cameras, IP address and information,
Exactly.
so they
Listen,
can get details on how to trick your camera so they can get into your place. So these people are mastermind groups and they work in large groups.
yes, they do.
They'll come with two men, two women, a woman and a man, or
Looking friendly.
two men and a woman, and they'll come looking friendly, trying to look professionally, and they'll try to prowl and see what's the easiest targets and who are the easiest targets and who doesn't have a webcam on their door or who doesn't have a door cam.
They also they come at, you might not believe this. Do you know they start off at about 4 in the morning, maybe 3 too, a.m. while you're sleeping?
Yes, at night, because I have another gentleman that I called recently. Another one that they're doing is a scam is that they're wearing vests like they're UPS
Amazon.
or Amazon, and you got to remember Amazon works at certain hours. They don't work at no 2 or no 3 a.m. walking
Don't
around
feed
at
time.
night, and they don't drive
That's that rush
vehicles.
time.
So yeah. So like I was saying, to link all this up again, this is the past. We're trying to look forward to the future.
But we were trying to keep you mindset because, again, be careful going to grocery stores. Women, be very alert leaving your purse. Like you think it's cool to leave it on your buggy. No, it's not. Be very conscious minded about some of you people who will be shopping in grocery stores or stores and leaving packages inside your car. Be very leery about people around you. Your surroundings is very important because
Yes,
these people are in a group.
they're working in groups
They
now.
go from store to store. This is their job. Just like you work a 9 to 5 or a 8 to 7 or whatever you're doing, if you putting the hours in, they're putting hours in too.
Yes,
But again,
they're trailing you.
that drug and that motivation or that scamming or whatever it is that motivates them to do this type of lifestyle and to take advantage of other people because they won't go out and try to do the, 9 to 5 thing.
No, because
But they can make more money doing the 9 to 5 thing and doing the stuff they're doing. But
well, and this
sometimes that lifestyle.
living in these days, what we have to be prepared for the future is
Yes,
making sure you are well armored up.
exactly.
As you can see the picture
Please
that's
do that.
on this podcast right now, you see the person with their armor on. You want to have the same thing
Keep your armor in
when
there.
you're dealing with
Oh,
people in
number 1.
society, um, because there's things that you can get to protect your wallet. Because there's people that are looking to snatch wallets, purses, like she just stated. For women, I would suggest do not keep your purse or your wallet in a shopping cart,
Please don't do it.
unaware and
Your baby
unattended,
carriage.
and
Please be
trying
careful,
to
women.
act as if you're shopping and thinking that other people are going to have your um, betterment, or they're going to look out for you. People are not really too much caring nowadays.
Or they are not going to pull that type of action. Yes, they are. You're very target. You got your child. You have another child. So you're very much distracted. You're an older person. Somebody may be talking to you while the other one's going into your purse. It's so many games. And another thing, always pick up your mail. If you got an open outside box where somebody can just pop it up, get your mail. Always get your mail because were you thinking that your mail is sitting out there in your mailbox? Somebody's got a credit card in your name, but it ain't coming to your address. The scheme is so strong. It's computerized. It's an AI thing.
Just now we're moving into
They can make checks, like, government checks, y'all.
the deep white
They swindling out here.
collar crime. They can make checks. They can try to make checks for government checks, but you got to understand, the first thing when you go to the bank, they will run your check and let you know if it's real or not.
Yeah, but so
It
what
has a
they
code.
can, yeah, there you go. That's
and
the
if the
thing.
code is not able to be read at the bank, they will let you know right away. So once again, these are just a bunch of schemes that they have going on. But more than likely, the people that are making these government checks, they're going to be the ones trying to spend them. They're not going to give them to you because they're
And you finding some people
yeah.
who work in these specific jobs, they may work at working behind the counter, distributing certain things. I'm going to say this, are working at an agency where they can issue something. They're on the scheme too.
Yes,
They are on the scheme, y'all.
like we've seen recently with the young ladies that were working at the welfare department, with,
Wow.
and how they were using people's names and social security numbers to print out
Real life.
other cards and taking these people's benefits and issuing them on another card that they had access to, and going out and spending it on them and their male friends. So yes, there are a lot of groups of people doing different type of scams up and down the highway. So we just want to make you
Aware.
aware for the future that these things are going on, and you need to get as many pieces of protection for yourself.
And be aware that your lifestyle is made to be alert. Your life right now needs to be alert because it's so many swindling swamblers, and it's the best time for them. This is the breeding time.
Yes, this is the time during the holidays where
This is the big bang for them.
a lot of individuals are outside scheming and plotting and scamming. Today, like I said, today I was at a place and I noticed a bunch of people kept trying to circle me. So what I do is like I notice now that this is a strategizing groups plans that they put together in multiple
Yes.
places, and they go from place to place following you. And when they know you have money or you receive money, Because when you get lump sums of money at the banks or anything, you cash a check or anything of that nature,
Yeah, they follow you from,
there's people who
yeah,
contact other people and tell them that
they
you have
work that
money.
phone.
And what they'll do is they'll get your phone number, you know, through your banking information. It's people like she just stated that work at these agencies, banks. They work at
They tag
social
team with the outside.
services. And what they'll do, they'll call other family members up or people up that are involved in criminal acts and help them to target you, to steal it from you, or either to swindle or to make falsified identifications to use your information. So you got to be very careful.
Yeah,
It could happen to anybody.
this is about that time. You know, like I said, they're going to come out. A lot of people will be going to jail. They will not give them a pass like they thought they would. It's not going to be happening like that. Um, there will be a lot of activity at the ending and the beginning of the year.
Yes.
And when we jump into the beginning of the year, most of these people who have done these evil deeds
Be locked up.
will be locked up. They will be prosecuted. Um,
And,
there will be a lot of people still coming out.
and another one that they
Yeah,
have
you
that's
should
going
see it.
on
You should see it.
that you should
Wait till
prepare
you see
for
it.
in the
Y'all
future,
should see it.
or really right now
Gotta see it.
in the future that you're in at this moment and this time. And
Yes.
what's going on is that these hidden cameras in your apartments.
Y'all
There's
don't know
people
about that, do you?
that are working for agencies like your apartment complex, the companies. A lot of these people that are being hired have criminal past from other states.
They want to see what
And
you're doing.
what they'll do is they'll get a job working at apartment complex. They'll gain access to your homes. They will place hidden cameras and
That's
devices.
their job.
And what they'll do is they'll bring their associate family members and other people from other places down to the state that they're at, and they will run the same game. They will target elderly people, other people that are not aware. They will violate your privacy. They'll get your bank information. They will be able to listen to your phone calls through these hidden devices. They'll have live feed to where they can watch you in
Yes,
real
they will
time.
watch you.
Um, it's just this is a really deep type of demonic type of
Interference.
game that they have going on. So, like I said, you have to get prepared for the future, and these things are existing around you. And the best thing is to get every type of security that you can get.
Yes, you can also get where you can know if your house has any camera in it. That you, and
Yes.
anything that
There's
is-
devices you
yeah,
can buy.
you surely can.
They're on Amazon.
Yes, you can.
There are also stores that sell devices that allow you to run them past certain, I would say, objects in your home that people can hide these devices in. Like, say, for instance, you may come home one day and you may see a new statue. You may think that your plant has been replaced and you feel funny about it. Even something on your wall, picture frame.
Out of
there's,
place.
there's devices, and they can also come in and place them behind your light fixtures, your plug fixtures. They can place them in different multiple places. So what you want to do is just pretty much get you some type of device
make
that
sure you
allows
check it
you
out.
to
But-
check all these type of things, because they are
You can detect these things. It's
They're-
very important
they're also placing them in the restroom area
for women.
for children, men, women. They're just basically doing this because this is another way that they're making illegal income
Yes,
off
you know,
exploiting and child exploitation.
or just exploiting a woman.
And
Period.
exploiting
You're not
just-
even aware of it.
Not just women, they're exploiting anybody.
Just
Children,
you're right.
men.
Any human feet.
They're just basically looking to gain
I should say any human heart.
any
Forgive me.
income that they can from
Exactly.
misery or doing demonic stuff to a person.
And also, we want to talk about those who are sitting out in front of stores. You're thinking that you're donating money to a beautiful cause for children or for the church or some other organization that they're going to teardrop it on you. And also be very alert about these women who are sitting on the sidewalk with their children and they're asking for some forms of money. They're, just hanging out in front of one of the major grocery stores and sort of like a mosque area, sort of like, but not really. But it's something going on where there's a lot of shopping and merchants in that area.
Yeah. So if you're in front of a mall or any grocery stores, be careful of the people that are asking you for money because we know in this day and age, everybody is eligible for food assistance, the SNAP EBT program, which you can even get it if you're a criminal. So you
Yeah,
know
it's
that
there.
it's there for that use. And if
Hmm.
you're homeless, you can get it within a day's notice.
And why would you be at the grocery store begging for somebody food who, they may not even have food to,
Yeah.
for their own family?
So
Why would you take money from them?
look very weary upon these type of activities because there's lots of people scamming and scheming, and they're using this as a way to gain income for other
We want y'all to
unclean
be free.
purposes. So yes, and then the other one, like she was stating, is the women and children. I seen this recently where the man is playing a piano. Come to
Hmm.
find out, he's not really playing the piano. He has the children with him. The piano's already basically have set music programmed into it, and he's acting like he's playing the piano, and then people are giving him tons of money, but the man already receives food stamps. He's on Social Security. He has Section 8, but they're also scamming. So these are things that's going to touch your heartstrings because
Hmm.
people don't want to see nobody doing bad on holiday
Exactly.
perspective. So
Exactly.
it's kind of, it's kind of harsh, but you have to really look and see what's going on around you because there's so many different schemes and scams just
Yeah.
happening right away.
You,
And this
uh,
and in
hmm.
this future that we're living in a technologically advanced future with AI, Meta. We have all these
Yes.
different quantum computers, and we
Hmm.
have these things that are thinking autonomously, and we have people that are also thinking in a very treacherous way. So when you have a treacherous person using a piece of equipment that is highly intelligent and technologically advanced, it only gives them a higher advantage of trying to manipulate because we have people that are actually writing checks
Hmm.
that are claiming to be big businesses that are using emails. That's another one. Be careful when you are seeing things on your email
Yes.
that's
And
stating
please don't open it up.
to open this
You
and
want
it
some
states
money.
that you want
They,
money
hmm.
or either that here's your receipt from a purchase that you
Exactly. This is
made
the thing.
and you never seen this company
Your
before
Amazon package,
and you never
you didn't do that.
purchase anything at all from any of
Hmm.
these companies, be very wary because they're putting Trojans into your phone. And what they'll do, they'll link to your phone and then they'll be able to follow your every movement and what you're typing and see it in
Exactly.
real time. So it's just so many different scams and schemes. But this future that we live in, once again, you have to be prepared and you have to be ready to battle with your armor and your shield. So the next thing I wanted to talk about too is I purchased a pair of Ray
How do
Bans.
you like them?
They're pretty good, but at the same time, these glasses that they have now
Mm.
have smart identification recognition software.
Tell us
So
about that.
what they're able to do is when I see a person,
Uh-huh.
they can give me detailed information on who that person is.
Okay.
I can even ask Meta who that person is. Um, if it can or if it cannot, it will unlock certain details about this person.
Give you a description.
If I take a picture of them or a video, it can give me detailed description on certain people, if they're well known or if they're not known.
Look at our technology.
So this technology is very skeptically sketchy, but it's also good because, like, if you're walking down the street and some person is wanted for a murder or they're a
It'll
killer,
indicate it.
it'll kind of give you some type of details on certain things. So yeah, you have to be very careful what you're doing and how you're moving now. But at the same time,
These are
we
glasses, folks.
we have so much protection now. We have so much protection around us. Um, and I know that people are going to say that AI is the worst thing ever. It's going to take over. We're going to get the Terminator, and it's going to gather all the information and details on us. But like I said, our own government has been doing this to us for a very long
Oh,
time.
wow. You should hear the story that we heard
Yeah.
yesterday.
Like I said,
Wow. Speaking of that, I'm not going to get
we
into
have
that.
seen
We know,
that
don't we?
this has been a strategy that's been used, that our own government has used it in a very, I guess, sinister type of way. So now, with that said,
Casualties doesn't mean anything, okay?
so
If
now,
you are a person,
with that said,
you don't mean
think about it.
anything. A casualty,
If we're in
you are that.
2024 and they were using taps and using all this type of information already in 1995, just imagine what type of information that they have now and how they're able to get details information and how to strategize against you and what they can use and how they can't use it, because also too, they have the machine that can record your voice. A person can call your phone now.
Mm-hmm.
They can act like they're a company, and that same computer program can act like it's an actual real person, but it's an AI generated voice
Exactly.
program.
Listen,
And then what happens is it records your voice and your tone, your pitch, and it will call back multiple times until they get enough sequences of your actual voice that they can use now to do things with. So this is another one. And remember, we
you
have
better listen.
the deep fakes, people taking your actual facial image, placing it on video
Remember
calls,
that? Listen.
doing pictures and videos of you that are not true. So this is
Mm.
all going on now, but this is already past used technology that is just now available to us, and we have access to it. So this is the future. This is what we have to be prepared for. Our children need to know about this. Our children are well aware of some of it,
Exactly.
and we need to know how to protect ourselves and our children from it. And we need to also know how to use these tools in the right, proper manner, and to show our kids how to guard themselves
And
when they
navigate
do use
themselves.
it, and navigate themselves in a proper manner too, also, and also ourselves too, because these things can be, they can work for us. They can also work against us. Um, with that said, I'm going to go into one more commercial.
Be aware.
And
Awareness is what we're opening somebody's door.
yes, be very aware, because the future holds a lots of different
It's
aspects of hidden,
movement.
hidden, hidden
And
unknown,
movement. Hmm.
hidden unknowns
The Wizard of Oz.
that will be used in different manners that you may not have even known that they were purposely used for that
And you'll
reason.
see everything links back to the first beginning of this conversation. I want you to keep your mind open. Like I said, you are moving in your time. You are moving in a better position. If you continue to ride down this road, you continue to be open. Shalom.
All
Let's
right.
listen up.
So with that said, I'm going to get into a song real
Break
quick,
time.
and we're going to go into a quick little break. All right, all right, all right, all right. We
We're
are back,
back.
and we are still brown skinned,
real power of the common people,
Copper tone.
hosted by
Yep.
MarC4MLK, your host. Gotta be telling y'all the most.
And co-host is MLR Rose
Welcome to the room.
from the Rose Room discussion. Yes, when I say copper tones, the proper tone. We have to start building our structure back as a people and having
Exactly.
pride in what we talk about and what we do. I wanted to just basically say something about that because I see that during this last, I would say, decade, we kind of lost our personalities. We lost our
Our identity,
true strength of what we
our purpose,
are here for, and we did not. Um,
and we need to get our civil rights. We never got them.
we did not
We
push
haven't got them.
for the proper.
Yeah, we didn't put all the good stuff on the plate because the colorism have always been a pressure. So when I talk about the past, about slavery, about the little boy that I mentioned, I wanted to put all these stories in like I said, stuff you. And then I want to go over it smoothly.
So that's why we were saying that, as she was talking about, we didn't push for the proper representation
No.
of what we are and who we are and our capabilities and what we have
Unbelievable.
done. And in these last, I would say probably 10 years,
No, more than that.
I'll
So
say,
you're being real nice.
oh, well, 20, I'll say
Yeah,
25,
let's give it,
25.
yeah, I'll take 25.
No, you can probably
You'll take
go
more
a
than
little,
that, but,
little
you know,
more.
be
I'll
nice with
say
it.
30
You
years.
can take 45, 60, 70.
Well,
You
that-
can take 100. You can keep going back. You
Not
can go back to
100.
the 400.
I won't go back that far because
Okay.
most of the stuff back that time
I'll say 100 and something years. That's
wasn't-
going to be real with it.
wasn't our fault. But I would say probably the last 70
Well, the
has
reason,
been something that we have kind of like been able to stop the train, but we have just decided to allow people to jump on. And what has happened, the train has been running just recklessly, and it has been passing the stops. It has not been stopping properly. It's just destroying the stations. There is running like it's a train with no brakes,
well,
and
yeah,
it's pretty much was on a crash
that's pretty
course. So as we're starting to see with these certain prompts kicking in right now, the train is starting to slow down and starting to get back to where it's supposed to be, and we're trying to get it to a regular type of you know proper
No, yeah.
procedures to be
just put,
done
we just want
a
to put
better
this,
way.
we
So
want to be able to
so
ride this train
no, we just like
without being stopped.
no. We don't want to ride the train without being stopped. We want to ride the train and have it done in a proper manner, just like when you go to a
I would add
station.
that. I definitely would
Like
agree with you on
with,
that.
with,
But
with the train,
yeah,
it stops, it picks up people, it does it in a properly manner, it allows people to get on, it greets the guests, it has proper seating, it shows you where you need to go,
okay, I
it
like
gets
that
you to your
metaphor.
destination. It's not passing up the destination
Very true.
by passing people who have tickets who've been waiting. Like I would say, tickets to me and waiting. I would phrase that in the manner of there has been over, I think it was over 5 million people that were homeless, and they were of our nationality who did not
Mm.
get placement into housing and have been on the streets for over, I think, 10 years.
Oh, and they were it was preventive.
And hold up, this is prevented. This could have
It
been
was
prevented.
preventive.
This
We
could have been
just
preventive.
know
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
it could have been preventive
Wake up, y'all know what I'm
measures
talking about.
that could have
We're in
been
the water.
implicated to stop this. But like I said, when we just seen the last events of all the money being given to other people who had just came here, and they were given tons of money, and all the things that we have been waiting for, we were not represented in the proper manner. Uh, the train didn't stop at our stop. It just passed us up. It had no brakes. It left people who've been sitting there for days, months, years in time without having a chance to board that train. And what it did, it bypassed them and went to a whole different stop, and nobody knows where that stop was at. And when they got to that stop, it let all these people onto the train, and they kicked the other people off. And then they told them either they had to go to another farther back row of the train, which caused lots of discomfort, lots of people overlapping each other, lots of carry-on luggage overlapping each other, not a lot of space, unsanitary conditions. This is why I was saying that the train, putting that in a terminology of like probably trying to give it a a in the regards of like I want to use that as metaphorically as a train is our our um our reparations, our how can you state this? Another one I wanted to put into a manner. It's our representation of all of the issues that we could have done in a better manner and have been addressed to be dealt with properly. But
Okay.
we didn't deal with these issues in a proper manner. We just allowed them to just go past those issues and not even act like they didn't exist. Like I've said, the issues themselves would be the train stations, the stops.
Okay.
Then when you get to the train station and the stops, those are people who are dealing with the issues who need to board the train and then need to get proper seating in life so that when they can
Yes.
be in a better, comfortable position. And the train is to get them to where they're going.
Their destination.
That's the financial system that owes us all these different things. And the people that they had in these type of positions that were running the train, they were not doing it the proper manner. They were running a train to which
Economically,
it was like
psychologically,
a wild train.
not
was-
even putting any growth into the train.
Right.
Until the train ran out of the
Fuel.
engine just broke.
The engine
okay?
broke,
And
there
then
you
once
go.
it's broke. But here's two things that did
And they're trying to
happen.
duct tape it up.
So here's two things that happen that kind of interrupt, and one is on, they both balance out each other in some way. So you have abolitionists back in the day. Their terminology was to build a structure for us as people of color to want us to be considered our natural laws, to make sure that every African American, or either those who are just here in America that was of color, got a chance to be treated as a human being. That's one person. That's one group, let's put it like that, one movement.
Yes, there's
The
always
other
a group.
movement,
Always a group that wants to
the other
dictate who we
movement-
are and what we need to do and how we need to do it and how they can help us and how they can go forth in doing so.
the other movement was the colonization.
Once
They
again,
were a different movement.
another group.
Their movement was to get the hell out of this country because they knew for a fact you would never be treated or respected. Like where we at now,
I think you meant the colonizers was the ones that
yeah,
came
thank you.
here.
Did I say that wrong?
Yes, 'cause
I was out of pocket. Thank
yeah,
you.
the
Thank you for correcting me.
colonizers are the ones
And
are
put it
are
on
the
spell.
ones- are-
Exactly.
are the ones who came. So what you're saying is that, like I'm stating to
Yeah.
you, there's groups that always want to dictate
A movement.
what we are, who we are, how we should move, when we should move, what they can do for us, how it needs to be
And
done
it
for
never been
us,
done.
and how we need to follow their way of thinking in order to get it.
Uh-huh.
We don't really need any of these type of things. That's
So
what I'm
can
saying to you.
can I interrupt you and say to let you know this? All these groups are made up from one. Let me tell you, from a political government
Somewhat,
that's in the United States.
right?
Some of the organizations were created by people of color.
Not really.
Yes, they were.
Not-
I
not-
can back it up.
Not really. No.
They were made. They were funded by a
They-
lot of African
They
Americans.
couldn't be funded. The groups were basically presented in a manner by an African American. How can
But
I
they-
say this?
you know,
like the recent group.
No,
Lives.
no, no,
No,
not,
hold on.
not
The re-
these group. Not
No. I'm trying.
Don't
I'm
look
trying.
at this.
I'm
don't
trying to
look at
give
this
you. I'm trying to
this
give you
time.
an example. That's what I'm trying
Okay,
to say to you.
you're giving me an example, but
Example
I know
is
some
this.
factual
This
stuff.
is but I'm trying to say to you.
All right.
The groups that you're all talking about
What are we talking about?
are always placed in by these entities. These entities are the ones
Yeah, this is the
who
new groups
write
that you're
up the
talking
group.
about.
No, not the new
No, they
groups.
aren't. I'm
All
talking
the
about,
old groups too
I'm
also.
going way back in like
Because
in
if you're going back to
1860.
the NAACP, that was placed together by the
That's the other group that's placed. That
that's
you're right.
that's a
That's a
group,
government group.
but all the groups that you're talking about are all under the government. There's no groups that were under black owned business
Organizations?
organizations that were just funded by blacks.
Yes, it
If you're
was. There
looking at
were,
groups like that,
yes,
you
it
would have to
was.
go into what you would call the Black Panthers and groups of that nature. Those are the groups that were basically funded by themselves and small other groups that did not get any type of notability in society. But when you're talking about a group that's basically here to this day,
Oh, no, no,
that's
not,
still
that's
around.
what I'm saying.
All these
You're talking
groups
about
that you're talking
the new
about
Kipling
are
groups.
funded by the government. They
You're
always
talking
been
about the
funded by the
groups
government.
that, in between the civil service,
The
and we're talking about civil rights.
the abolitionists that were around that time,
Again,
they were also individuals.
they also,
Hold on, they were individuals who came back from the war. They were also the ones who were involved with the war. They also had a
they also
political
contribute
party.
their own
Once
information,
again,
knowledge
they
about
had
what they
a
thought,
they, they
being
had a connection.
involved with American
But then the
life.
abolitional groups they were made by people that were not black. They were made by Caucasian people, people that
Exactly.
were European. So I'm trying to
That's
say to
who
you.
started these
So what I'm
groups.
saying to you is this: when you look at these groups,
You're
they're
talking about
not ran
organizations.
by any black person. Any group within America and Western society is not ran by black people. They're run by people who are basically dominantly other nationalities who then will try to congregate with blacks and they will advocate for black people to help them. What I'm
Yes,
saying
that's
to
very
you is
true.
that that's what I'm trying to say to
But
you.
also
Metaphorically,
talking
I
about
was saying that
too.
the train itself is what we have lost because what we have lost is
I'm gonna
our
tell you after. Go ahead.
identity and we have lost who
let me
we
get you
are
that
because
water.
what we have done is we have allowed other people to always be our voice. And when they're our voice, and when it
Yeah.
comes to our political
As we see
standpoint,
now.
we ally with them. And then when we ally with them, we don't get what we want.
We never do
That's
because
what I'm
it's not.
saying to you.
It
That's
was
what
not really.
but that's what
Like
the
you, I'm
train.
agreeing with you.
No, but that's what the
I'm
train.
definitely agreeing
That's
with
what
you.
the train was actually a
Your statement
representation
about the
of.
train?
The train was that the train was not really ours.
It's not.
Okay, because when it was ours, we knew how to stop properly. We knew how to do the proper mannerism. We knew how to do everything to board the people in the right manner. When we started letting other people onto the train, then they started getting hired on our train. They started to dictate what we do on our own train, which is for us. It's supposed to be our train. Every other group has their own means of transportation. And what it does, it gets them from point A to point B. And that's the point I was trying to make before you had came in. I was trying to state to you that the train represents us. When you look at other groups, they're unapologetic when it comes to them owning their storefronts. They're owned by them. They employ nothing but them. The food that they sell or the products that they sell
talking about-
are by
You're talking about
people.
organizations.
No, I'm not talking about
within
organizations.
the
I'm
50s?
talking about what I'm talking
Although
about.
that's
No,
what
no,
you're
no,
talking
no,
to
I'm
me
not
about.
talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about,
Give me a
metaphorically, I'm talking about groups that represent themselves and how we were not getting the best amount of financial support. And we represented ourselves within a train. That's what I was trying to state to you, to put ourselves in that perspective. We were a train. We were the ones who laid down the foundation. We were the one who set down the tracks. We were the ones who made the access around America. We were the ones who put
built
down
America?
that situation
ask
first.
that?
And what happened is that once we had did that, we had allowed people to board our train. What they did was they carved out spaces for themselves on the train and they eliminated the spaces that we already had prepared for our own kind to keep our train going. And what happened is after we had built our foundation, these other groups got onto the train. They found stations where they can stop at and they build up their own situations. Now, when they build up their own situations, they're not giving you access to their products. The products that they do have are not for you. When they do have an income system set up, is not to help you. It's to get you to give them access to your funds. That's it. They don't have any type of, uh, how can I say this, financial plan set up for you for the future or for anything else. And that's what I was saying to you about this future is that we're trying to get ourselves back on our own train, remove our problems off the train that has not been working properly, and that comes to the engine itself blowing up because the people that are running the train, that are the ones that are supposed to be putting the coals or whatever they're supposed to be doing, the engineers, they're not doing it properly, and they don't represent us. And every time we put a person in the front to represent us, they're not us. They're ran by a system. That system has always failed us. So what we need to do is remove the conductor off the train that does not represent us, put our own conductor on it that represent us. Like I was saying, the copper tone is the proper tone. So that's what I was saying to you when I stated that. I was saying that our tone, who we are as our people, the original ones that are here, that come from this land, that been here for many millennials, and been here for millenniums and millenniums, and thus far, so far, we probably even been here before this country was even resurrected itself. Um, we are the ones who made that foundation. I don't want to battle about who does what and what's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making that point. What I was trying to make a point of is that when we're
I
talking
was going
about,
to give you
no, no,
a
no, no,
gentleman name
I
who
don't.
did sponsor and raise money himself. He was a doctor.
Yeah, yeah,
He
but
was
you're saying a
no,
doctor,
he had nothing to do with
right, right, right.
okay.
But I'm saying to you,
Martin
ma,
Delancey.
I'm saying that I understand that. I'm talking about the thing I'm saying to you is that
Well, I was trying to tell you about two black men
I
who
got you, but
actually had nothing to do with any governmental thing. They raised their own money from their own pocket and became very successful rich men. And they bought the first school. They set up the first church. But again, the church also emphasized it more of a black church, but it also took from the
once again,
biblical
the
of a white
church
man. So
itself is not
that part
of
I can agree with
our
you on.
culture. That's what I'm
But
trying to
I'm
state
just
to
telling you, there have
I
been
got you, but I'm
very
saying to you,
powerful black
I
African
know,
American men
I know that they're
who
powerful. I know
who
that they're
stood
powerful.
without asking another man of any other race to join with them
That is
because
true.
they didn't too much trust them.
That is true.
One of the gentlemen who I'm explaining to you,
But I was
who
saying,
planned, this gentleman planned for us to do another Marvis Garvey. He wanted us to leave.
right, right, right.
He set up. He was a seller.
But when
He
I'm,
set up his own boat.
but what I'm saying
He
to
set
you,
up the own ship. Excuse me, on his own ship,
but what I was saying
and
to
he
you,
was trying to.
I think you were overlooking what I was saying. I
Okay,
was not
maybe I'm
saying
not
that.
overlooking. I'm just
That's
letting
what, but
you know
but you kind of
that
were because
there has been
no, no,
African
I
American
was
men
trying to state to you
that have done things
but-
without the government.
but that was not my point that I was
Okay, I just
making.
wanted to
That's what I was
bring
trying
that
to tell you. I think you were trying to
I
cut.
love it when we debate.
I got you. I just got you.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
just
wanna
saying
give
to
you
you
some facts.
that wasn't the
Those are
point I was trying
statements
to
that
make.
I
What
want to
the
let you
point
know.
I was trying to make is that when it comes to our own train, we don't have we're not
Where we at now?
able. No, what I'm not saying to you.
No,
See,
I'm,
look,
I'm
hold on,
hearing
hold
you.
on. You keep cutting me off every time I'm saying something. Just let me go
I'm
ahead
hearing you,
and
though.
make my point before you jump in. Let me just go ahead and express that. Um, when it comes to us as a group of people, we can build our own train by our own means and our own hands. We have our own um, tools. We can
Exactly.
do all the work, right?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to our own train, what I'm saying to you, it is not done by our own type of income. It is not done by our own type of products that are just basically for us. It is not done by
I agree with you.
us as a group, as a whole, collective, to where we decide and make the decisions on how it's ran, where it's ran to, the the economical standpoint, or even the assets, liability, and the equity that will come back and will be able to be placed into our pockets. We don't have that type of power. We're always on a train where somebody else is always the
Conducting it.
conductor, okay? And that's what I'm saying to you. I know about these black men who have this money, right? But once again, they have to answer to a government church. And we know the church is ran by who? The
We know who
government.
that is.
Right. So if it's ran by the government, it has nothing to do with us as a people
I'm
because
agreeing
that's
now.
still locking us back into the government. Because once again, we know that that type of culture of
Yes.
what's the name? Well, not gonna say what's the name.
That structure.
That structure of culture that comes from out of a church or comes out of a type of um, I guess
Constitution
say
of Congress.
religious belief. It's not really the standard that we have grown up to understand. If it comes from our, if you're saying it comes from
It's an
a
invisible
perspective of
church.
um, our natural habitat of
Our
where we're
natural
really from.
resources.
No, our natural habitat, us as a people, like basically us being from here first
Our
and
soil.
originating here. We did not have that type of religious culture. We never brought that. That was not with us. That was forced upon us.
Exactly.
And then we had to then,
Emulated.
no, we didn't have to emulate it.
No. I want to say emulated because, okay, there's the
It was actually
there's the
forced-
Christian
forced
church
upon
that
us.
was built upon in the United
It
States.
was institutionalized upon
Okay,
us and it was
so-
forced upon us.
Exactly.
So that was basically
So-
something that we did not really want to do, but
Yeah,
it was
but you
done.
have to formulate that same thing, and the organization will not give you a substitute. They will give you something so similar to exactly you formulating exactly according to the rules. You're buying by the same type of structure. You're lecturing what you the biblical word from their structure.
Right. So it's also, like I stated, if a person colonizes you, takes everything away from you,
Right. Strip you.
then moves to a higher plateau in your land, then leaves the part of the land that they just colonized and took and destroyed, and leaves you their instructions on how to live your life. You have not really won that battle. That means that basically they
I
have
got
won.
you.
They have won that battle, basically
you're
dictating to
right.
you
I'm
that
gonna agree with you.
look, I make the rules. Here are the rules. After I destroyed your land, destroyed who you are, your character, who you are, your ancestry of what you are, and your identity of how you recognize yourself, you now have to follow this whole information,
This whole
command
process.
that I put together in
whole
order
process
to
of your
live your
life.
life. So that's what I'm saying to you. When it comes to our train
Your thought
that
process.
we basically have, since we are the foundation of building most of the stuff here, we have not been on the righteous path with that. That's what I was saying
As
to
a
you.
unit.
Not as a unit, just as a culture, period. We have allowed others to infiltrate. That's what I was trying to get to the point. So I was saying within these last years and within this last year, I have seen people allow other people into our culture that don't have our greatest
Not our interest
of
at all.
aspiration. They don't have our
In
aspiration.
fact, don't really care about
Right.
your culture.
They're
Your
u-
culture is I'm
They're-
agreeing
they're-
with you
they're
on
using
every point,
they're
every
using us
dimension,
as a way to get to a certain point.
a design.
And that's what I was saying. Those points are these stops. These stops are areas that only we can get to on our train because our train is designed for us. Remember, like I was saying,
Yeah.
we put down the actual tracks. So if we put down the tracks, we put down and paved the way, we did all the work. We know how the train goes. They don't know how the train goes. They get on our train
And they
using
ride
us
it out
to
and
get
sit
to
in the front
a
seat
certain point.
and make us
There you go.
give them the
There you
the
go.
luxury and respect
There you
and
go.
deny us our own given right.
There you
Because
go.
if we look at now, and I'm happy you got to, we had that little discussion, that little bump, because I'm saying one thing about there has been very prominent men in the history, very few that we know about, but the structure has been broken down where these men end up broke. Because again, if you're relying or putting yourself in a loophole with them, you're going to not get the full uh, capacity of what you really definitely need to provide for your future wealth generation.
Yes.
So there is a very disconnect when it comes down to these organizations, as I've been saying, infiltrated, as you see now with the Black Panthers. I recall that there were not too many men in that field as far as taking different, structures like it was with the first beginning. As you can see when Huey and Bobby Seals first started the organization.
Yes.
It was men doing manly things. The father, the structure was there, the education, and they knew what they wanted, but because of the structure of later on, a lot of them going to prison or getting set up or getting killed, and the life that the media and I want to say also the California governor, as well as Ronald Reagan at that time, made it to be as if this was a war. The war was going on, and
Right.
this was to
Right.
be like they were rude, disrespectful young
Yeah.
people,
Right.
messing up America, tarnishing and causing a radical war,
They painted a
and making as if they also drug dealers
so what they did,
and destruction of their own people
they
by using
painted
a
a
militant
false
style. But look
narrative.
who's running it now. There are
Right.
women that are
But they painted a false
that are not.
narrative.
They,
That's
they
what they
love
did.
other women.
They,
So
they,
I don't know how the Black Panthers became that.
they,
I don't understand that.
What I'm saying to
And
you
the
is that
structure is not there.
they
We have
painted
legal lawyers
a
who
false,
know racial discrimination.
a false narrative.
So how would you not have
Right.
moved this movement?
So what I'm saying to you is that they painted a false narrative.
It is very.
And what happened with the false narrative?
And look at all of them. They
a-
turn.
as you
They
look
turn state
once again,
informant.
as you look at what
Look at
happened
who.
with
Look at
them
what their job
and the
position is now.
situation that happened with them, they kept reaching out to the public. They kept reaching out to the media. They kept having sit downs with people. They kept trying to compromise their position of being a part of certain meetings with certain people,
Mm-hmm.
which basically compromised them. Like I just stated to you, the gentlemen were able to raise their own money in the past, right? But their fault was always going back to the church. If you're going back to a structure that is created by somebody else who has destroyed you, your culture, your identity, you're not going to win out of that situation. What I was trying to get to, and I keep trying to get to that point, I'm trying to state to you that in our existence, here now, that we are able to see towards our future, our train now, we're all aware that we're on a train. What our job is now is to remove these people off of our train
Exactly.
that had no business being on
At
there.
and have been benefiting.
Hold on. 'cause
Have been
I
benefiting.
got you.
Let's put that in
I got you. Let me make my points because
Keep
you
go- keep going to them,
coming in.
Troy.
I got you because I have to make the points and what I'm getting at, and I just want to get
Topic's
that. I want to
hot.
get there. They're on the train. They're not supposed to be on the train.
Okay.
Okay, when they're on the train, they're taking up space. They're not for us. They're not for who we are. They're infiltrating the train. They got to get off. That's the
Look
first
at
thing they
that,
got to do.
y'all.
So when they're off the
better
train,
listen.
they're off the train permanently. They don't get back on the train. The second thing about that is then we got to understand that when these people are removed from our train, now we know that we have space for others that need to be on the train.
Exactly.
So when they go to the next stop, the stop that we need to be at financially, that's when you get these people on the train and you get them the right place to where they need to go. The good thing about that is when they get to the place they need to go, now they're there and they're able to do the positions that they need to do
Yes.
in order to create and build more stops. They can create
More
at that
wealth.
stop more wealth, which is, like I said, liability, equity,
And land.
assets, and which that comes
And
to
agriculture.
owning the shops at the stop. Not from only that owning the shops at the stop, now the stop becomes a stop that's predominantly ran by people that look like you, that employ people that look like you. Like I was saying to you,
A community
when you
base.
look in America, there's a Chinatown everywhere, right?
Everywhere, community
Okay,
based.
when you look at a Chinatown,
Jewish,
who is it
a
ran?
community base.
Who is it ran by?
Italians, a community base.
Right. So when you look at a Chinatown, it's only ran by people that's of that
Asian,
ethnicity
a
and
community
that group
base.
and that race, and it's for a cultural
Political, a
aspect,
community
right? So now
base.
look, they're not answering to you on why they don't hire people that's black.
Not at all.
They don't have to hire people
Have
that's
you ever
black.
seen that?
There's nothing placed there saying that they're anti-black if they don't hire you when it comes
And
to
there's no
people
racism.
of other nationalities that are Hispanic and other nationalities. They hire people that only look like them. The stores cater to them. Their products are of
Exactly.
them.
Look at
They're
that.
made by them. They're created by them.
And they
do
have a
not
community base.
have to give you any explanation of why they're doing so.
Not at
So
all.
what I said to you in the beginning is that our train has almost been basically overtaken and compromised by others that are getting on the train that's not of our,
Not at all.
not of us,
Not at all.
and they're coming on the train with their products, forcing us to buy the train products that they don't really cater to us. They're not for us. They're here to make a profit off of us,
Exactly.
and they're on a train, and they're not supposed to be on our train because we're not
You're a
at their
cash
stops,
crop.
and we cannot be at their stops in their towns where they're at, and we won't be able to do
We
any
can't do it.
trade and bargaining with them.
Sundown.
So what I'm trying to state to you is that if these places exist, we should have the same type of mindset when it comes to our culture that these other cultures should have, and their same mindset too also. But I'm saying to you, for some reason with these last couple of years, we have been lacking that identity. That's why I said copper tone is the proper tone. What I'm saying to you is that we have been lacking who we are as a race, as a people, to see that we have
It's
a
too many
dominant
of us.
power and have a understanding and knowledge and education to build our own economic structure without having to rely
Rely,
on things that
beg,
are going on people.
plead,
And one thing I would try to
get
state to you is
allocated
that
money,
when it comes to
grants,
these
begging.
these type of foods that we're eating, we don't have our own. We don't produce our own
No,
food.
we don't.
So that's one thing that we need to do.
That's why they got rid of a lot of farmers who
Right.
were African American.
But
They
then-
made sure their crops did not.
But another thing about that is
fertilize.
that once we know they got rid of them, there's still other ways for you to also grow food, and there's other legal ways
There
that they
are
can't stop you from
still-
growing food.
There are still
Now,
a
With
growth
that said,
of
with that said,
some people who farm
with
their
that said,
own.
we
the South.
we see that there's people still doing so, like
They
you
are.
just stated.
They truly
So
are.
with that said, is if you have your own economic structure in your own black town, you can form what the hell you want to form.
And you
Nobody
can
can't come in and
do-
tell you
You
'cause
can make
you-
your own ordinance.
because
you
you're making
can
your own orders in
create
your
your
own
own-
economy.
Townspeople.
Right.
You could have
Right.
your own education,
System.
hospitalization,
Right.
and you can hire a staff to run these facilities. It can be done, and
Very easily.
the funniest thing is we have people graduating from Harvard University, from most prestige colleges, coming out as lawyers, coming out as business people,
But-
and people we can't get.
the problem
well,
is that-
the Renaissance,
The problem is
the
that,
New
like I said,
Harlem Renaissance.
we don't run our own train. Okay? Like
Can
I
we
keep
do
stating
that? Run that train.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah,
So,
we need to realize that.
Metaphorically,
Look how far we've come.
the train is our race, our culture, our generations, our bloodline, our
Mm-hmm.
ancestors. It's something that we built.
And folks, do not get fooled by Black Lives Matter. Look at us, y'all. Wait, let me get a moment to pause. Where we at? What happened? What did they do for the people whose families
Right. So
have
like I
been
said, that's
involved
an
in
agency that's created
police
by
brutality?
a agency who is ran by who?
Who?
The same people who I
And
just said
what
to
are they
you,
going to give you?
who runs the churches.
So,
when you're looking at these type of agencies and these groups, they're never really there to give us a full backbone of strength. They're just there to pat us on the back and act like they're there to help us. And then when they do that, what they'll do is while you're there representing the speech, they're the ones who dictate now whether how much money they can give you,
Okay.
what this money can be used for, if they do give it to you
Okay.
on a contract, how you have to use it, and if you violate any of these type of clause in this type of contract, then we can pull your whole company away from you.
And I want to say this too. Most of these educational funding or monies or sponsors or anybody who have graduated with a high, let's put it like with all A's and B's, who have gotten scholarships, are kids who, very few of them, in a low income area. But why not all of them? Why aren't they able to access the same lifestyle?
Because I would say this to you right now. If you had your own black community,
There we go.
that
Then look
had,
at this, you
once
guys. This is why we're telling you the
if you had
conversation, the
your
past, and the
own
future.
train,
Listen to it.
your own train
Your
now
own.
can give out its own type of criteria.
Exactly.
So if I'm giving out on my train a pamphlet that caters to people that look like me, and the pamphlet tells them where to go, where to eat, how to conduct themselves,
Yes.
how much money they can spend here, how much wealth they can gain there, that pamphlet is designed directly for you and a person that looks like you. And you could take that pamphlet in a term as basically stating that that is a gift to them to navigate through life. That is
Exactly.
a correct map on how to get there.
How to get the instructions
So,
of life.
so if we don't have the instructions that's given to
How
us,
do you know the map?
and you don't have a map, and you don't have nobody that's given maps that look like you, what's going to happen is you're going to go to somebody else's area to ask
Wrong
them
directions.
for a map. When you give them a map, is that the map to
They're
me
going to give you a little bit.
is the school. The school that you're going to go to is going to be structured by them. It's going to show you how to read a map the way that they want you to read it. Now, every person that looks like you is not going to be able to read the map like them, because it's designed for them to
Instructions.
read that map. Some of us will be able to read the map. When we're able to read the map, yes, that's very great, that's very good. But the majority of us is not going to be able to read that map because, like I stated to
The
you,
gap.
it's not designed for us to
at all.
understand. So that's what I was saying to you. When it comes to our own schools, our own schooling, we can have all these things in our own structure. Like I said it before, there's a lot of black millionaires, billionaires,
Billionaires,
thousandaires.
goldenaires, okay?
If you was to take everybody together and put down $1,000 each, you'll be able to buy a damn whole city. With that city, every black person can live there rent free, have jobs everywhere else, bring all the money back to the Commonwealth into that city, build a structure, and keep going and keep going. There would be nothing to stop us from having our own economy in our own city, in our own
Exactly.
town. What's stopping us is that we are relying on other people's transportation. Means of transportation
Yeah.
subliminally means subliminally means to me basically we're relying on
A
their
system
comfort,
that is not going
their
to lead you
assistance.
anywhere.
It's not going to give you
You're
what
not
you
going to.
want.
You're not going to be able to go any farther than what they put you to. The
Exactly.
stop. They tell you to get off the stop. You're not even prepared. You
Exactly.
didn't even know you were sleeping, and this was the long. You thought you was going to have a long trip, but it ended when they told you to get up and go.
And then
So another thing about the young boy that I was saying, the 7-year-old who left his parents and being a black child, this is the same thing with our legal system. Once they're gone, they're gone. We do not represent our people, right?
right.
We don't have any structure of people who are representative for us. The Democrats, people, y'all can give them names. Pastors, you can give them millions of names. People who tell you to fight the power, to be strong and run with us to the end. They haven't done very much. I can do, believe me, give me a plan. Watch me work that plan. These are agencies that, like I said, you have a few kids who will meet the criteria, and the government will have a few people who will get a loan to open up a business. But there is not, do not believe that. There is none of this credibility from any organization is really going to help. It is show and tell. It is very a few of them. We're talking about a community after a community after a community.
Right. So what I was saying to you, that subliminally also too, when you're on that train, now you're passing out your own pamphlets.
Exactly.
Pamphlets mean your own education, your own knowledge on how to get to a certain place of mapping. You own the train. It's built by you. You built
You
the
to structure
tracks.
it.
This is all us on the right path. The stations that we're stopping at is ran by us.
You did
When
the
it's
blueprint.
ran by us, the security guards that work there are our security. They are our police in that terms. So basically, like I said to you,
This is your land, baby.
just like certain people
Your ownership.
have their own law enforcement within the law enforcement, I'm pretty sure people know about that now. There's nationalities and races within America that have implicated their laws and rules because they have basically have so much money that they have come together with. They now
Exactly.
have their own law enforcements within their own community that work for the law enforcement that
And making
deals,
sure everything's running
check this out,
smooth.
that deals directly with their community only. So when any matter happens in their community, that law enforcement comes in as a way of the law enforcement to conduct and deal with any problems within that
Exactly.
community.
They-
So like I said to you, the
Police in
culture,
their own community.
that's what I was saying to you. The identity of who we are has been lost because, for one, we have come to some type of form of mindset to where we shouldn't be police officers.
We shouldn't
We
speak up.
shouldn't do this.
Shouldn't speak up on somebody who's out of pocket.
We shouldn't say nothing about nobody's out
No.
of pocket. We shouldn't snitch. All these type of things basically implicate that we are not preparing ourselves for a better future.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying to you. We have talked about the topics that we come together with the conversation.
Get ready for the future.
We
You
talked
can
about the
have everything
past.
you want in the next future,
The
but you
past.
gotta be prepared.
We talked about the past
We
and
talk
how
about thieving and lying.
the past has brought us to this type of point. All the things we've seen that has gone on thus far within the time
The
frame
broken promises.
of these personal, tragic, and I would say probably dire years that we had to deal with this elective president candidate that's in office at this moment in time, and how we're going to move forward into the
Exactly.
future with a new candidate, and what we need to do, and how we need to get
As a
prepared,
group,
and also be
mind-wise.
prepared for what the games and the tricks are
Exactly.
to attack you, and how they can follow you and steal from you and take from you, and how you need to prepare yourself. So like I said to you, now we're talking about what's going to happen for us in our future and what we need to do.
And how we get rid of bad apples so we can uplift and make more positive, newer ones.
Right.
To the fact that we grow into these children mindsets. We give them an understanding so they can direct their life and their path. If we don't do this and save our road and clean up our garbage and throw out the real trash,
Exactly.
we have to be very on business.
And we have to also watch out for those who want to self-sabotage
Exactly.
our
Your own
cause,
people.
because some of your
They
own,
think it's funny.
your own people are not wanting to put up the work.
And
See,
they get mad.
they're comfortable.
They get mad
comfortable.
at this conversation.
They're comfortable of living under other individuals. They're comfortable relying on other individuals. Like I say, today, if we were to all take our money and to move to an all-black state where we all lived, had our own income,
We would do some damage.
this
huh?
person would
Think
have a
about it.
problem, and they would infiltrate that, and they would work for the system to bring that down. They would bring drugs in. They would do things of this nature. And that's another thing we have to do. We have to get rid of these drugs.
And people,
I
this,
know,
look what's happening.
I know people.
We got some uncles, we got
think-
some brothers, we got some
I know.
mothers, we got some sisters,
I
some
under-
cousins.
I
All of
understand-
us want to make this world
I
where we live
understand
at, get
that
rid of it.
People are saying
poison
one
in
thing,
us.
but I'm saying to you, when it comes to drugs,
They're not doing nothing
we
about
need
it.
to get rid of all of them. There's no such thing as no good drug. So marijuana would have to go, ecstasy would have to go,
Wow.
cocaine, all these things, these pills, they would all have to go.
Pharmaceuticals.
We cannot rely on these things. These things would be an Achilles heel to us. Alcohol would have to go. If you want to kick a habit, what do you have to do? You have to get clean and sober. When
And
you
a
get
sober
clean
mind.
and sober, you have to live a sober life. When you live a sober life, you can see better and think better. If you keep doing the same things, you're not going to get better. If the Most High has been telling us for a long time to get prepared for something, and instead we
Yeah, we
see
are at it.
that we see His blessings, but we're still sitting there asking him why is nothing changing, but we're still using drugs and doing everything else. That's why it's not changing, because the energy that you're putting out there and what
Mm-hmm.
you're absorbing
Y'all listening?
from this type of mindset and this type of trapment is not going to put us in a better position. And
Mm-mm.
like I said, I know people saying, oh, marijuana is a good drug. I used to think the same thing too also. But when it comes to giving a gateway, you don't want to have any type of gaps in anything. Like what was the person say? If you're going to go
Mm.
into the ocean, you want to make sure what? Your damn boat or your vessel is airtight when you're going to be on top of the water. You don't want to have no type of way where nothing can seep in, leak in, and cause a problem.
Uh-oh.
Because you may think, oh, that's cool to do, and that's no, I need that for that and that. No, you don't. You don't really need none of these things. The Most High has given you everything that you need. That's why your ancestors were able to build that train. That's what I'm trying to say this metaphorically all the time. They were able to build those tracks. They were
They
not
worked hard too, though.
using no marijuana. They were not using no 40 ounces. They were not using none of these things that we're using, seeing the whippets and all this other weird stuff that they're using now. All these things are distractions that's going to push us away from who we are. Like I said, if I can do it, I have not had a drink of alcohol in over, I think now probably
Listen up.
5 years. So, and I have not smoked any more marijuana. I have stopped, period, because like I said to you, the chemicals
Listen
that
up.
they're putting inside of there are not for us.
Uh-oh.
They're made strategically to cause us mind effects. They're made strategically to
Uh-oh, y'all.
break
Listen
down
up.
our DNA system.
Very
If you're
powerful.
not aware of the cannabis new type of strains, they cause problems with your DNA. They cause problems
Uh-oh.
with your um, immune system. They cause a lot of. They have more of an addiction type of. Um, I guess
Pharmaceutical?
it's more of a not. I would not say a chemical based product that's put into them now
There
that
we
make
go.
you much more of a addiction, like a nicotine. Um, you can look at the articles right now. They're out there. They
Yeah.
were not testing for cannabis for a while. The chemists, they were getting paid to put these type of things in there. They're like a MSG on steroids, but they're putting it into the marijuana because what they want you to do is they keep coming
Look
back.
at Science
This
Daily.
is why you see people say, "Oh man, I had some of that weed. That weed didn't get me high. I need some more." So what happens is your
Google
consumption
research.
becomes more and more, right? So as you're consuming something, just like a person that's heavy set that's eating, once they eat one amount of food, they want more. Then what happens is with the MSG, they crave it now. So what
Oh,
happens is their body's taking on more and more of the weight, but they just think that they're not hurting themselves. And the more portions that they eat, they need a more bigger portion every time they come because they're not satisfied. Because remember when they first started, they had a plate and they had a half. Then the next time they had two plates. The next time they had three plates.
mm.
Next time they have four plates. Next time they have five. What I'm saying to you, your
Listen up.
consumption will become more, so more toward which
Addictive.
it will become an addiction. So what that does now then, that opens up a gateway to another drug.
Hallucination time.
Then that opens up a gateway to another drug. So what I'm trying to state to you is that these things are
Tapping in
designed
the
for
mind.
us to attack us. And as you can
Tapping the
see,
mind and spirit
within
and the
the
heart.
industry itself, um, it's used as a way to place things that they want to predict as cool to us. Remember,
Yes.
our people was the ones who had the cool themselves. We were already cooler than anything. Now what has happened is that these people are now trying to dictate to us what is our culture, what is cool. We are now following them to see what is cool. We are now using their
Mm-hmm.
type of styles to see what is cool.
And it's really our style.
And it's
You
our
know,
style is just took it from
you
us
know,
and reinvented and sold back to us
um,
in a wrong manner. And what they'll do is, for making it to a spiritual thing, like hip hop was basically was about the culture, empowerment of who
and
we are,
emotions and
our
feelings and
technology,
lifestyle
our skills,
and
our
historical history.
mindsets, our spirituality, all the things that represented us, our cultural clothing,
Our DNA, baby.
our design, right? So what they did, they took hip hop, they made it into rap. When they took it from rap, they see it wasn't still attacking us. So then they brought in and asked for it to be much more violent. So what they brought in, what was gangster rap. So when they
Mm-hmm.
brought in
You put
gangster
these
rap,
different
what happened from
steps.
gangster rap? The next thing happened too, it became a much more gang-based rap. Then from gang-based rap, what
War-based
happened
rap.
to it went
Even
to
war.
a much more territorial of
There we go.
what side you from rap. Then it went from that to now it's drill rap. It's spinning the block and
And
shooting.
female rappers.
Now it goes to now the female rappers are looking like the men rappers of the 90s and of the 80s, and they're acting more of like the killers and the murderers. So I'm trying to state to you, just
No
like the
feminine.
marijuana itself, once you get a dose of it, it becomes worse and worse and worse. And what they did
And
is
that hit of heroin.
they took
Don't forget that. Very addictive.
they took
Never
our
tried it.
culture, they reinvented it and sold it back to us in a manner that was much more dangerous than what it ever could be. And like I said to you, in this type of concept, I'm trying to tell you, we are the train. The hip hop is the train. It's the original format. We already put down the what's name. We don't need another person to come in
Not at
to
all,
lay
Russ
down their
Room.
tracks because
Speak
what's going to
on it.
happen is they're going to take the train and veer it off to a way that we don't even want to fucking go. We don't even know where we're going.
Somebody listen up.
So that's what I'm trying to state to you. We
And
are the ones who designed this. And
yeah,
like I was telling her,
mm-hmm.
we
Are
need
the
to be
conceptors,
back on who we
the
are as a
motivators,
people.
the
No more
insteppers,
of this
the
allowing
design,
everybody else in
the architect,
that will not allow your
the
culture in.
creator.
Because, like I said, when you look at these other individuals, they will not allow you to disrespect their culture. They will make laws. They will work with police. They will get bills passed
Mm-hmm.
for you to stop you from messing with anybody in their culture. When it comes to our culture, we're allowing people to just come in, destroy, demolish,
We don't got a patent
attack
on it.
us, and do what they want to do. And then, like I said to you, they're getting on the train metaphorically, and they're getting to their destination, and then they're basically bragging about how they were able to get over on us and take from us and
And
get
give
to the
us the
position
pennies
and not give us anything, and then establish what we were supposed to
and
have
tell
a
us how to
town,
live and do and
and now they have
survive.
a town, and now you have to stop at their
And we have
stop.
to we have to look up to them to get the information,
There you go.
or the movement, or whatever they want to give us. But here's a thing that really makes me really know that we didn't grasp the whole thing. We had a lot of singers, people who sung in amazing voices, and some of us know for fact that there's no way that rap will be more over a singer, but somehow it made it like that. I don't understand. And then if we go um, back into the 30s, we can even go into the 20s, but when we go down these eras and we come where we at now, you will see the swishing and the movement, and you will see the interruption, the change, and you will have experienced people who you say to yourself, um, that sounds like that person,
Right.
but it's another person, a white person. And it's like everything from Marvin Gaye to Aretha Franklin to Gladys Knight and the Pimps, Temptations. I can go on and on, people.
Can I chime in on one thing?
I don't know how, even in the industry of the blues, we somehow came out of and under and dropped as if it don't exist. Even the older hip. So somehow we didn't take ownership to who we are.
So can I chime in one thing?
Please come on in.
What I was going to say is that just like I was telling you about the train, when I was putting that into
I love that metaphor.
a metaphor, a
Yes.
context, I was saying to you, a context is that the train itself is us. We have put down the tracks. We should be running the stations. When it came to us,
Giving out the
the
tickets.
train
getting
once
that money.
again can be seen as the music. If we have the train, we are the ones on the train singing. We allow people to board the train. They see that you have a talent on the train. They offer you something on the train. Now, remember, this is your train. You don't need nothing from them. The train has a
Exactly.
destination for you. But if somebody can tell you, oh, if you get up at this stop with me, I'm going to give you more.
Hmm.
So what happened was that
And then
they
usually,
they
don't
have
forget
been
you're
hold
out
on,
there tap dancing,
hold on. They
entertainment.
they have been weaponizing music for a long time. So when I say they've been weaponizing music for a long time, when it came from the gospel and soul music that you see now that people are playing in other cultures and they really love it and they grasp it and they base themselves off of that music because they know at that time our culture was rich with soul and spirit.
Yes.
They have now used that music to build themselves with that type of music. We have released that music because we have lost our identity of that music. What happened was they stripped it and they weaponized and took it away from us. That's why you were saying about the gentlemen
Hmm.
that were in these groups, how these groups broken up, how they were targeted, how they were offered
They
money.
had to be
And
dismantled.
that's what I was saying to you, like the train. If a person tells you to get off at a stop, that they basically said that I own this stop. I can
Hmm.
give you whatever you want. What they're doing is
You better do this
they're
though.
pulling you off the train. They're taking you off your destination. They're taking you off a place where you're supposed to have gone, but you didn't go, but you compromised for them for a money and an income. Now, what happens is they put you in a position as that they can take from you, and now they can use you to go after your own kind. That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Those who self
Oh my God.
sabotage and
Hmm.
destroy. And that's what I was saying to you. They're always looking to do something. So that's what I
Hmm.
was saying to you. We have to now be like the rest of these other cultures. We have to not compromise for anybody. We have to now stand on who we are. Um,
And take what we need to
just
take
like how
and build up
and
what we need to
and what I
build up.
want to tell certain people is stop feeling guilty when you see that you are doing something for your own kind because it doesn't make sense not to feel like you're doing something righteous because when everybody else is doing something for their kind,
They don't complain.
they don't feel
They
guilty,
don't feel guilty about it.
they don't feel anything. They just do
But
it
when you do
because
something,
they
go ahead.
know it's
Please shine on
for
this.
who they are and what they want, and they go for the benefit of the future of their
Thank
kind
you.
and the benefit of them having an establishment for the future. So that way, the rest of the people that look like them can keep coming in and getting that type of power and then stepping over you. Now, I'm not
Exactly.
saying this to be anything racial. I'm just saying to you that when it comes to who we
Take
are
a
as a
look at this,
people,
y'all.
we need to
Listen.
start seeing that we have to s- put ourselves to a higher standard and get the respect that we're really supposed to be getting. And we should be in a better position.
Better
We
position.
should not be allowing other people to dictate to us what our culture is, what our nationality
And
is, who we need to be with, who we need to marry, when we need to have kids. This is not no one else's culture but ours. I don't disrespect nobody else's culture. You
and
don't see me trying to dictate what other people's cultures can do. You don't
and
see me interfering talking about their culture.
and
You don't see me trying to voluntarily give them decisions on how they should live their life in their culture
and
because
are
I am
dressing like
not
them
their
and then
culture.
talking about them.
I'm not their culture. This is our culture. This is who we are as a people, and we are the dominant ones to dictate what we are, who we are, what we can do, how we're going to
And
do it,
how we can talk.
and how we're going to be able to represent it
If we
and
talk Obonic, Obonic is a language.
put it in the right
We should have
perspective.
that in the educational language of how we talk.
Well, Ebonics is already placed in.
And we didn't even make Ebonics.
I would say Ebonics is much more of a slang terminology that we came up with because
From the
we had
slavery.
to find a identity based
Trying
upon
to talk their language.
the language that they brought to us. And what we did is that we took their language and we made it even in a way that they couldn't even understand it.
We created a new
So that
language
way we
amongst
can do
us.
it. Yes.
Like
So,
other people got different languages.
right.
Why can't we, uh,
We,
invite that as our own?
Ebonics is really recognized as a language, but what I'm trying to state to you is that we already use that. I'm trying to state to
We
you
have
that
another language now.
we ourselves are strong enough to create anything out of anything,
Self-sufficient.
and we're independent. So what I'm saying to you is that we need to start seeing that we have a lot of spiritual wealth.
Exactly.
And we need to understand that nobody cannot dictate anything to us about us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And in this new year coming, that's the mindset you should have. Stop allowing people to tell you about what you cannot do, other people in your race could and cannot do, and what they should do.
Exactly.
Because, like I said to you, they're not going to let you come into their home and not wipe your feet on the rug and
Mm-hmm.
just disrespect them and tell them how they should prepare their food, how their culture
They
should
don't even
sit
want you at
down.
the table.
You can't do that, right? So that's the same way you start thinking in your culture. You want that same type of respect when people come at you. Do not allow them to persuade you or to make you believe that another person that looks
Mm-hmm.
like you should be doing something different than what they're doing now. Because, like, once again, I'm saying to you, nobody tells them what to do in their own group and what every person that looks like them should be doing. So, as a
Oh,
people of our nationality, we have to stop allowing people
exactly.
to dictate to us who we are, what we are. That should be done and over with now.
Extremely over.
It should be no purpose, and that should not allow you to go against your own
Your
kind.
own kind. Remember
And
that. Listen
remember,
up.
another thing is them placing you against your own kind.
Okay, that's
If, if,
another
if your
thing.
mind frame is not strong enough to understand
You got to look at that.
why people are doing that to you, then you're
They're
not
laughing
ready
at you.
to go forth into the future. You're going to be left behind because, for one, like I said to you, even
That's
the
why they want you to go
lowest
against your own kind.
of other groups,
Destruct
they
it
don't
down.
really go against their own group.
They do now.
They make sure that they pull their own group up.
Exactly.
And I've
Look at
seen it.
this.
They'll
Listen.
pull up people that are child molesters,
Listen.
pedophiles.
Listen.
They'll give them better positions than you. As long as they're not giving
So
it to
true.
you, it's cool. That's what I'm trying to state to you. So what I'm saying to you, I don't speak from a racial point of view. I'm speaking
For a
from
realistic
this
point of view,
is a
that's
race.
life.
And as a race, like I said to you, everybody wears a different color. Everybody's on a different team, and may each team win. That's all you can do.
And
you have to compete.
I want to say something too. Another thing we need to really, really focus on in our community, we have liquor stores, um, stuff of that nature.
Yes.
They should be, okay,
Banned.
they should be happy to know that we're giving our monies
They should be banned.
to them.
Banned.
But why would you go? I want y'all to look at if the store that's in your community have any kind of personal disrespect, discrimination, any colorism, and you see somebody
Kick them out.
accusing you of something.
Kick them out.
There's a particular store in Seattle. It was a gentleman, a family who owned the store, and they were a community store in my neighborhood. But they were also racist, only toward my color.
Belltown.
And then as they were trying to explain to me that I stole something, well, there were some other people in the store that wasn't my color. Took a lot of stuff from them. And it was probably for example for them to see that. But also their attitude was really disrespectful. So if you are in the community and there is a neighborhood liquor store that supposed to be, look, I'm just saying, practicing in a religion way, but also doing sales that food, liquor, little things that they ain't snobbing at you. But in your neighborhood,
But that's what I was just saying to you.
take your eyes on that.
When I was saying it metaphorically about the train,
Yeah,
They
take
have
your eyes on
came-
that one too.
they have came
That's
to
what I
s-
want to tell you.
they have came to the stops that were meant for you. Open up shop in your areas.
In your area.
Bring you products that are not meant for you.
And
They
they
don't
will kill
help
you,
you out.
actually. Some of the stuff that's been in the store have been there for years, and
as
it's
you
probably
can see,
old.
with the recent
They don't care.
Well, it was a recent event
not their problem.
in Africa where there were little kids who were going to a store,
Oh, please tell me about this.
and the gentleman was feeding them poisonous candy. And within
Look at that.
every 24-hour, I guess, approximate time frame, the kids would pass away after they would eat the candy.
Look at this person.
But what happened was that this man didn't think that the villagers, the men of the village, would come there and check his ass.
They did.
So check this out. This is the same type of perspective of strength that we need to have here again.
We We do have it,
with these
but
groups
some people,
and
no.
these all neighborhoods that look like us,
There was always one
that
in the
cater to
neighborhood,
us. Like
3 or 5,
I said
12
this,
back
I
in the
said
day.
this now on
Now it's
every
only one or
podcast
2.
show that I have talked about on the Rose Room Discussions. If people are in your neighborhood
Speak on it.
selling you food and goods that are no good,
Look at that.
they're not healthy,
Not killing you,
they're not in
killing
the
everybody.
right update of sale time,
Look at the sale time,
they're
the
old,
sale expiration date,
the
the
expiration date is
eggs.
past, they're selling you
Look at the
old
meats.
products. You should go and beat their ass, point blank.
All right, call,
I'm talking about
please,
physically
Food
know.
Drug
should know.
Administration and make a report just
Do
as
all the
well.
above. Whoop their ass, call food administration, destroy their shop, don't show them no respect because they have none for you.
They're going to be mad violent.
Because for one, like I stated to you, is this.
But that's
They should
what
not-
they bringing you.
check
But we're
this
not
out.
saying be violent, but
If it was
that's what they're bringing you.
check this out.
Death.
If it was anybody else's
think about it.
neighborhood, anybody else's area, of any
That
other
wouldn't go
cultures,
down, huh?
they would not allow them to
Not
be
at all,
over
huh?
there at all selling
real?
them no old ass food. So like I said to you,
Why us? What we do?
I would ask even too, if you see stuff like that,
Thank you.
record it, put it on it, make
Please,
it, put
please
it
make a
online,
video.
make videos.
Send
matter
it
of
to
fact,
the social media.
we
Let
can-
everybody know. Even put the name
we
of the
can
store.
make this a trend of
We
going
can
to
do
stores
this.
and just doing
Anything
this.
that you see that is outrageously, don't make any kind of connection with a link of racism or discrimination, it links to that. Please bring it forth.
Bring it forward.
See, because we
like I
all
said,
need to know how
We
to
have power
move.
with our
Back in the days,
voices.
they had a book called The Green Book, and the Green Book indicated like it would tell African Americans where to go, what places they could eat at, and what places to avoid. They had to do this because if they was in an area traveling somewhere and they walked across the street and that wasn't a place where you shouldn't be at all. That Green Book specifically told what
Sundown.
places would don't do it because you can lose your life. You
Sundown
can
town.
you can get towed up, hung. And so it's still going on like that,
Right.
but it's in a different way. They're using food in the neighborhood to
Right.
distract. They're also using low education, and they're also taking advantage of the fact that we as our people is not woke, and they're hoping that we do not do anything about the reparation. How
Right.
dare they?
Right.
Because they feel like, like you were saying, how long has it been? You was like 30 years, maybe this in 10 years. No, I see it as this has been ever since the soil was stepped in. And that was like in the 1600s.
Right.
1619.
But I was
When the first indigenous man stepped.
No, no.
Well, it was other people here.
But I
Let me
was-
just put it like that. But
I was saying
I'm
that
just saying the structure of
what I was
hatred been here for a while.
I know I wasn't saying that. I was saying that
I-
when we started
not gonna
turning
correct
bad.
me.
No, I was saying that when we started turning bad against ourselves.
That's what I said.
That's what I was saying. Like at that time,
I was speaking on
that's
that.
when I was speaking
Yeah.
on that. But what I wanted to just get to and make my last and final point is that
Last and final conclusion.
the ball is in our hands now.
Go ahead, Rose.
Okay, we have the team. We can score as many shots as we want to. Nobody's not
ahead,
going to stop
Roswell.
us. We're the best players on the damn
And we can play different positions.
on the damn
We play 4 positions in one position.
on the damn pavement. So
You see how that rolls?
we're able to do everything that we want to do. So what I'm trying to state to you is that with this time and the ball's in your hands, make the right decisions. Don't allow people just to take the ball from you no more and just to do what they want
and
to do.
just standing there,
And then just act like you're going to give up and just allow them just to come
and
in
you go running back home to your
and
mother.
just start scoring the points, and then you're not going to do nothing about it, and then you just want to get mad and attack somebody that look like you all the time
Are they telling you what base to run to?
and blame
And
them,
then they throw the ball at you and you're out?
and you're not doing anything to move yourself. Like I'm trying to state to you, you have the power now.
You do.
You are well aware
2025
of
coming.
what's going on. We have seen
Witness,
and known for a
Heard
long
it.
time. Like I said, from the past,
Karen,
we have known about all these entities that have been involved with all this illegal stuff. Now we're seeing that the Most High is playing his hand on all these people. So what it's telling you is that you are highly favored.
Highly favored.
So what you can do now is
Time to make the movement.
use
Chess
that
time.
use that energy and start chastising these people that don't belong around you. And like I just stated to you,
Around
these
you or your
stores
kids.
and these groups that are selling these poisonous food,
Mm-hmm.
get their ass out of your community. They don't have no reason to be there no more. You can check this out. You can get together with people in your community
And just get signatures.
and get your own store, and you guys can run it your damn self
That's the big one.
with your own products. Okay? And you can find food yourself like that. And this is going to be done on a daily basis. Like I said, I know it's a black lady in New Jersey right now. It's 3 of them that was from the East Coast. They was growing their own vegetables and their own fruit. I know it's about like, I think it's 12 black women that own like natural
Listen.
food stuff. And it's a
Listen.
bunch of black men that own different companies. I know it's a black owned bread company. It's a bunch of different people that are willing to do business very easily.
Exactly.
It's not hard to find. I'm just trying to state to you that you can easily do it. You don't need the products from other people that are giving you old ass, beat down, ran down, stumped on, old, nasty, discarded ass food that they done made somewhere in some old nasty ass place. And they're
Just look at your vegetables. If you go into a place and the vegetables look as if they're suffocating, or you can see that they feel so soft, they really don't care about you. If you're in a neighborhood
check this out.
store like that,
More than likely, those ain't no real vegetables.
scary them. That's the
like I
truth.
said to you, invest in yourself. That's what this really is all about. Like I said to you,
And
um,
move.
it's
Move your mountain.
the ball's in our hands now.
It is.
We can do what we want to do with it, but it's up to us if we're going to do that, or if we're going to just not want to play, or if we're
Or just
gonna
stand there.
stand
And
there and
just let them just do whatever they want to
yeah,
us.
that
And we
makes
just
no
do,
sense.
I guess we'll do another 3 or 5 more years.
Right.
And then we also can take our great grandkids with it.
And like
And
I
they can deal with it too again.
be careful of self sabotagers, because it's some
Please
of our
be
own
careful.
people
It's
who they're comfortable
Ooh.
with being in the
they're
mud.
there for that purpose.
They don't want to be out of it.
They're used for that purpose. You know, you have sabotagers for your young people that go to school or somebody in your community. They're there just to make that way you will not go forward. You're supposed to defeat them, go to that line and cross over it. Don't care if they call you a mama, they call you any kind of name. It should be like lint now. It should not hurt you because they're not God. They can't do anything of you, in you, around you, unless you allow it. Meaning, when I'm saying that is, don't let everything bother you. Stay on your road, on your direction. Know that this is that time. But be aware of these people because they're going to show up and they're going to show their faces. And you're going to see this. It is your option whether you want to continue having them around you because they live like leeches. They suck your blood. And their main issue with you is because you are about to do something powerful. And they cannot let you cross that line. You are going to do it.
Like I said once again, the ball is in your hands. They're on your court. You know that pavement better than anybody else. You done played on it for years. You know every point, everywhere you can get a shot off at. You know how to pass. You know where the ground is cracked. You know where
You
it's
know all the
faulty.
movements.
You know all the movements. You didn't practice on it for so many years, 400,000 years. You've played on
And
this same pavement.
It's been handed down. It's
And-
in your DNA.
And there's no way you can lose at this time, this point in time coming up. So all you can do now is pretty much just play the game and play it hard and play it the way you've been playing it. Because other than that, they can't play it like you.
Because we are power of the common people, hosted by Marcy from MLK. So today's topic is conversation, the past, the future. We have talked and talked, and we will continue to keep this broadcast moving. Say, Rose Room, what you got to say? Closing it up.
All right. Thank you for having all the extra energy. I know you always have lots of energy.
That's me.
I'm not the energy type of person. I'm more energy physical person, but I'm not
I'm
an energy person
energetic.
with the loud voices and screaming and talking.
That's me, y'all.
Yeah, but
Power to
yeah.
the coming people.
So thank you for joining me and MarC4MLK
Thank
and
you.
me, MLR Rose, with the Rose Room discussion. And I'm going to leave you with some of my new music, and we're going to close this out. I know this is probably
Shalom, shalom.
a longer show than normal.
We wanted to be this.
Usually I have a show that only lasts like probably, I'll say like 2 hours.
But I missed y'all, so I had to come back with something. Conversation, past, and the future. Now you see why I was coming and shooting at you guys. I wanted you to hear all these different, get your mind just popping in like hot coffee in the morning, like that sip of tea that's so sweet,
All
like
right.
your brain to the main,
I'm gonna leave
hosted by Power of the Coming People. Shalom, your host, Marcy, for MLK.
All right. We outro like Dro. And here we go.